There were wagers going on about whether Deon was male or female. Today we are on Funimation. We're looking at Le Chevalier Deon. And Le Chevalier Deon was a 17th century spy and diplomat who also is very likely transgender. So we're going to take a look at this anime that is based on this real-life historical character and see what we can learn.
And these are my words, the words of Deon de Beaumont.
Deon de Beaumont lived out the end of his life as a woman. And the woman that he lived with for 15 years prior to his death, when the coroner told everybody that he was assigned male at birth, she claimed that she had no idea. Now, while he could have had a very deep voice living as a woman, that's a very masculine voice, and nobody hearing that voice could say, you know, I wonder if she's a man or a woman. There were wagers going on about whether Deon was male or female, and these wagers were not finally finished until the coroner report showed that he was assigned male at birth. I realize that I keep jumping between pronouns here. Sometimes I say he, sometimes I say she. Deon herself used both pronouns depending on the situation. Some would argue that I should be using they, them, because it is not clear which pronoun Deon preferred. They used both, so I'm going to be using both in this review.
Her name was Leah de Beaumont. She was my sister.
Okay, I do believe that he did have a sister named Leah. He actually took on her name when he spent time with the Empress of Russia. However, I don't remember anywhere in my readings that she was murdered. It is possible that she was murdered, and I just haven't run across that.
King Louis the 15th, God's grace upon him. God bless the king.
Deon de Beaumont.
Louis XV was the next to the last king of France prior to the French Revolution. Basically, this is right before the end of the monarchy.
On that day, I should have attended court in Versailles as a knight for the first time. As a nobleman, it was my right.
Looking at him there, he looks young. 20s? Deon was about 36 when he got the title of Chevalier, and Chevalier is basically knight. By the time he was 36, he'd already done a lot of spying for Secret de Wu. Let's keep going.
Watch the cafes that attract the foreigners.
The secret police. They were the king's eyes and...
Foreigners are always the people that get blamed for everything. Calls them the secret police, the French secret police. It was the Secret de Wu, which is secret of the king or the king's secret. Deon was a spy. It's more of a spy network than a police network.
It's a list of high-ranking Russians, including the Empress and her ministers. Read it.
NQM again.
I think it's some kind of code used by an organization called Le Secret de Roi.
Le Secret de Roi. That is the secret police. That's the organization that Deon was involved in. Interesting. Unless they're saying that the secret police and the Secret de Roi do different things. He had joined the Secret de Roi when he was very young. I want to say 15 years prior to becoming a knight. And he's saying he is a knight. He is Chevalier.
Nakam, not NQM. Nakam, to take vengeance. But the translation is difficult.
In Hebrew, they did not use vowels originally. The vowel sound would have been left out. So that's why it's just NQM. Cross burns the demon. The demon or a vampire?
No. My soul.
Deliver my soul. Put them in fear, O Lord, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. In the beginning was the Word. Deliver my soul.
I see.
So the vessel has accepted Leah's soul.
So what I hear them saying here is that it's not that Dayon was a transgendered person. It was that Dayon was inhabited by his dead sister's spirit. Because that's the only way, of course, that a royal could be transgender, is because he was inhabited by his sister's spirit. But let's keep watching. Well, Dayon was an expert swordsman. All right, so in the comments, I have a link to a form. If you know of any other videos, any other movies that you think would be cool for me to do a historical review on from a bibliological perspective, go ahead and fill out that form. Also, if you'd like me to do another episode of Le Chevalier d'Aon, go ahead and put that below too. If you'd like to know more about other transgendered people in history, check out this playlist.